Hello, this is Scott White from Glasshouse Home Safety. Welcome to another Toasted Tuesday. Today I want to talk to you about branding. Smoke alarm branding, different brands. Have you ever bought, say, a packet of chips or something that you really liked the taste of and you enjoyed it so much you went back for more, but they weren't there, so you just grabbed a different brand, said the same thing on there, salt and vinegar or whatever it is. And you grabbed it and took it home and it just wasn't the same. Just didn't taste the same. It's like if you if you went to buy a car and you've been driving a Mercedes for the last few years and you liked your SLR, but you just thought you'd try a Hyundai. And you were most disappointed when you got in it and it didn't drive like the SLR Mercedes that you had. Now, funny enough, that's the case with smoke alarms. I don't know how many people I come across on various posts and things where you got the armchair experts and they say, oh, you don't need to pay that much for a smoke alarm. I bought one for $14 down at the hardware store. They're going to be the same people that are on those forums complaining about, oh, these new photo-optical alarms, they just don't work. They go off all the time, every time I do anything. Every time I breathe. I've even had a lady that was said every time a gecko walked past the alarm, it went off. And then I asked her, well, what brand do you have? It's a very relevant question, isn't it? And doesn't it make sense that there's, remember the ad, oils ain't oils, Sol. And they're not all the same. And they're not all priced the same. A very smart man once said to me, good not cheap, cheap not good. And it's so true. You get a $14 one from the hardware store. Well, what are you going to get? A $14 detector. Is it going to go off all the time? Is it going to work effectively if there's a real fire? Maybe it will, hopefully. For your own good, I hope it does. But let's face it, you get what you pay for. Now, after many, many years of installing these things, I know which ones work and which ones don't, which ones go off all the time and which ones don't. And I'm not knocking the suppliers at Bunnings, say, for instance. Bunnings is a great shop. It's one of my favourite places. I love going there and buying things, but I don't buy my smoke alarms there. They're budget priced. They're not bad quality. I won't mention any brand names, but I had a look on the shelf recently. That was $27, $35. Great. It's good, but that's what you're getting. You're getting what you pay for. Good not cheap, cheap not good. We use and recommend in a lot of instances. It does depend on where you are situated on the planet. I've got to admit, some brands are better for some things and other brands not. But on the Sunshine Coast, where we are, I would definitely be recommending the Schneider, the Clipsal, the PSM4s, which are right up to code. They are the latest edition from Clipsal. Queensland brought out the new versions, the new standard ahead of other states, and the PSMA4 is exactly the right detector for this environment. Just does not false alarm. Perfect for the environment, as long as it's placed in the right spot. Of course, we've had other videos on positioning and such, but as far as I'm concerned, it might be worth paying, well, a little less than double what you're paying for at Bunnings, but you get a much better quality device. The Australian standard 3786, which determines the construction of these things, gives a bit of a variation. It's got to allow air, for instance, to go into the chamber, and there's a certain orifice size that they give a range. It can be no smaller than that, no bigger than that. That means some have big holes, some have small holes. Some are better for humidity. There's a number of different tests. I think about 17 different tests that 3786 does on smoke alarms that allows them to be approved. And you can imagine with that number of different types of tests, there's obviously going to be different results between brands. So if yours has been a nuisance one, it doesn't necessarily mean that every photo-optical detector is rubbish. And it certainly doesn't mean that the ones that we're going to put into your place are exactly going to behave the same as that one that you bought for $14 at the hardware store. So keep that in mind. You get what you pay for, get quality. Yeah, that also is the case with the installer, by the way, but that's another story. The installer must know where to put them to make them work. Spacing, distances, sloping ceilings, deep beams, there's other things. There's much more to smoke alarm testing than just pressing a button. But that is exactly why we can offer our no beep guarantee, because we know what works, what doesn't. We certainly know which brands. So keep that in mind. I hope this has been helpful. Have a great day. I'll speak to you on Safety Saturday. Bye-bye.